Today, let's focus on finding the maximum or minimum of a quadratic function. We know there are three forms: vertex form, factor form, and standard form. If we are given a vertex form, y equals ax minus h squared plus k. We know the coordinates of vertex are h and k. Let's look at example. Y equals 2x minus 1 squared minus 3. We know the coordinates of the vertex are 1 and negative 3. So 1 and negative 3. And we also know the axis symmetry is x equals 1. So the vertex is on the axis symmetry. Now a equals 2 greater than 0. So it opens up. So it has a minimum negative 3, which is the y coordinate of the vertex. Now let's look at next example. Y equals negative x plus 1 squared plus 2. First, we change that to this form. So we get negative x minus negative 1 squared plus 2. So the coordinates of vertex are negative 1 and 2. So negative 1 and 2. Now a equals negative 1 less than 0. So it opens down. So it only has a maximum 2. Let's summarize. Given a vertex form, if a greater than 0, so it has a minimum, which is the y coordinate of the vertex. If a less than 0, it has a maximum. Still, it is the y coordinate of the vertex. Now, let's look at the second form, factored form. If we are given a function of x equals a times x minus r times x minus s, we know r and s are zeros of the given function. Let's see example. Of x equals 2x plus 1, x minus 3. To find a 0, we let x plus 1 equals 0, so we get x equals negative 1. Let x minus 3 equals 0, so we get x equals 3. So we get two zeros, negative 1 and 3. And the axis symmetry is at the midway of the two zeros. So x equals negative 1 plus 3 over 2, which is 2 over 2 equals 1. So the axis symmetry is x equals 1. And the x coordinate of the vertex also 1. In order to find the y coordinate of the vertex, we plug in x equals 1 to the function. So y equals 1. So 2 times 1 plus 1 times 1 minus 3. So equals 2 times 2 times negative 2, which is negative 8. Now a equals 2 greater than 0. So it opens up. So the function only have minimum, which is negative 8. Now let's look at another example. Gx equals negative x plus 2 times x minus 4. We know the zeros are x equals -2 and x equals 4. And the x coordinate of the vertex is x equals -2 plus 4 divided by 2, which is 2 over 2 equals 1. So the x coordinate is 1. To find the y coordinate, we plug in x equals 1 to gx. So y equals g at 1. So we get -1 plus 2 times 1 minus 4. That equals -3 times -3, which is 9. Now a equals -1 less than 0. It opens down. So it has a maximum y equals 9. So maximum is 9. Let's summarize. Given a factor 4, we know the coordinate of the vertex are r plus s over 2, the average of the zeros, and the y coordinate is earth at the point r plus s over 2. When a greater than 0, it has a minimum. The value is this one. When a less than 0, it has a maximum. The value still is 1. Now, let's look at the last form, standard form. If we are given a quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, we know the axis of symmetry is x equals -b over 2a. So let's see an example. Of x equals x squared minus 4x plus 2. So we know a equals 1, b equals -4, c equals 2. So the x coordinate of the vertex is x equals -b, which is -4, over 2 times a, which is 1. So we get 4 over 2 equals 2. So you see the axis symmetry is x equals 2. And 2 is also the x coordinate of the vertex. To find the y coordinate of the vertex, we plug in x equals 2. So y equals 2. So we get 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 2. So get 4 minus a plus 2. So equals -2. Now a greater than 0. So it opens up. So it has a minimum -2. Now let's look at last example. Gx equals -2x squared minus 4x plus 1. We know the x coordinate of the vertex is x equals -b, which is -4, over 2 times a, which is -2. So 4 over -4 equals -1. So you see that x coordinate of the vertex is -1. To find the y coordinate, we plug in x equals -1. So y equals g at -1. That equals -2, -1 squared minus 4 times -1 plus 1. So we have -1 squared equals 1. So -2 times 1 equals -2 plus 4 plus 1. So the outcome is 3. So we know the y coordinate is 3. Now because a equals -2 less than 0, it opens down. So it has maximum 3. Let's summarize. If we are given a standard form, then the coordinates of the vertex are negative b over 2a and earth at negative b over 2a. When a greater than 0, it has a minimum. When a less than 0, it has a maximum. That's all for this video.